A very good evening, everyone. I, Dr. Malka Agrawal, Chief Learning Officer, Educos Unite of Scholars, welcome all my guests who have joined me here today virtually on this platform, Infinite Rec. I welcome all my viewers as well. I heartily welcome our guests of this evening, Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra, Dr. Balachandar, Dr. Shama Hussain, Dr. Tanya Simmons, Raina, and my dear friend Shelley. So, friends, as you all know, Ethicos Unite of Scholars have been coming up with the various award ceremonies, workshops, training sessions for teachers and students as well. So, we've recently come up with this new launch platform, Infinite Rec. This is our fourth show, and today we have all the great personalities from all across the globe. So let me welcome one of them. And today, my friend Shelley will be taking you through the show this evening. Thank you so much. And I welcome all of you once again on behalf of Ethicals Unite of Scholars. The entire team welcomes all of you this evening. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us today on the show. Over to you, Shelley. Shelley, you are on mute. Unmute yourself. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Malka. Throughout the school life, I used to wonder why I have to carry a heavy bag every day with the books that never even tried to be interested in them. That fragile enthusiasm for knowledge made my life a little meaningless, which resulted in my being marinated in my own belief systems until the recent years, when my fuzzy vision and belief for the society and the world became coherent and started to change. And now I believe that the world is a battleground and life is like a battle. To fight and win the battle called life, one needs to be armed with education. Education not only ensures our survival in this world, but it also makes our life worth living. We can say that education is not preparation for life, but education is life itself. When I say that, what I mean to highlight is the fact that education is a process in which we learn throughout a life. The whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows, which could be interpreted in many ways. The one way of understanding this saying is by imagining you know an uneducated person like a human being locked in a chamber which has mirrors in lieu of windows. That person can only watch his own reflection in those mirrors and will make all his beliefs based solely on that without bearing in mind the logic and the world. If that person wants to discern the world and wants the world to recognize them, then those mirrors must be turned into windows, which is only possible through education, as it enables people to know the world beyond their own surroundings and transforms them into rationalists and humanists. Here, the mirrors are the hurdles or threats which are preventing that person from looking beyond and understanding the world in an objective way. The windows are the opportunities to see the world from different perspectives in an unbiased and unprejudiced manner. This quote can also be interpreted by thinking of the mirrors as an uneducated person who does not grasp anything but instead reflects or rejects everything that is provided. So, true knowledge gives discipline. From discipline comes worthiness. From worthiness, one gets wealth. From wealth, one does good deeds. And from that comes joy. So, good evening, everyone. This is Shelly Bish, your host for the spectacular evening, a passionate learner with 21 years' experience in the teaching industry, an international speaker, moderator of international conference, and talk show host. CBSE observer, core member of Result Committee, multi-awardee, mompreneur, social activist, writer, nation builder, change maker, assistant director, India GLT, deputy director, India IAU, content head Khwab Zindagi Ke, advisory member Edicos Unite of Scholars associated with many educational institutions and NGOs. So, ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath for Today, on this occasion of Red Global Power Talk session, I roll out a red carpet welcome to a sea of galaxy of luminaries, intellectuals, and eminent guest speakers across the globe who will be sharing their expertise on education. Turns mirrors into windows, India versus foreign education. Please accept our best wishes and tons of gratitude for accepting our invite, for finding time from your busy schedules and enlightening our participants today. Now, before we start, let me explain to my alluring participants how you can talk to us during the webinar. First, let's get charged up with the key insights and takeaways from these brilliant minds, followed up by the question and answer session at the end. Your active participation is important throughout the session. Right now, I have everyone on mute to avoid the background noises and they may distract you from listening to the webinar. Throughout the presentation, our technical team will be managing the chat functionality. You can type your questions along with your speaker's name you intend to ask in the chat box throughout the session. I'll collect these and address them during the question and answer session at the end of today's presentation. Now, let me take pride in introducing our honorable first speaker of the day, Dr. Balachandar. Lovely audience, he is an educationist, leadership coach, and senior principal. He has been in teaching industry for around 38 years with the distinction of working in rural sector and imbibed the experience with needed nuances of learning methodology besides making them at par with other competitive students both in scholastic and co-scholastic spheres through heading academic wings, brought in transformations and took part at the national level conferences on educational front, which has been paving the way for constructive changes. Now he's a leadership coach, orator, trainer, and a resource person. Commendable. Now he has had various positions like Director, South India GTE, Honorary Advisor, SPAA, Honorary Advisor, Oxford EduServe, Convener, South India, Aesthetic International, Convener, IEF, Core Member, EduClouds, and various accolades also. Best Principal by VEL Tech University, Chennai. The Most Enterprising Principal, CIA India. The Dynamic Leader by KD FSSF says Chennai, the Progressive Principal CET Bangalore, the Indian Icon Award Touch Education Mumbai, Lifetime Achievement Award Sri Krishna Educare, Inspiring School Leader Smart Tail, Effective Global Leader CET Gurgaon, Excellent Visionary Leadership CIG Sirhind, and the Outstanding Edu Leader Aryans Group of Institutions Bangalore. Wow, what an amazing profile! It certainly deserves a huge applause. So, the stage is all yours. Please enlighten us with your pearls of wisdom. Over to Balchandra sir. Welcome. Please unmute, sir.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, ma'am. And
Thank you so much.
I'm really truly overwhelmed and cloud nine to be among the great personalities, and especially my close friend, Mr. Dheeraj Mangotra. And of course, I'm the great admirer of his speech and his oration. And to be among all these stalwarts, probably a dream come true for me today. Yeah, let me start that a beautiful topic today. And yes, of course, education change mirror into windows definitely, and you're going to have beautiful introduction on the part of it. And there's a famous quote: the whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows, by none other than Sidney J. Harris. The key factors of education, of course, it was beautifully explained by Jen in the introduction itself. Education reveals a sense of self-fulfillment. Education helps us evolve to think logically. Education does not aim merely acquiring textual wisdom from books to learn a livelihood, albeit it is a part of education, of course. A mirror turning into windows, it's not a one-day process, it's a steady and sure process. It takes a time. And let me go for the next heading, the mirrors versus windows. And as he told very clearly, a mirror helps us to see what we do. It reflects what we do. But whereas at the same time it acts as hindrance in forcing the future. So hence, the windows on the other hand help us to see what we are not aware of and has a catalytic approach. In a nutshell, windows expand our origins and ability to look beyond our thinking. Education is such a means that prompts us to see what we are supposed to see. And the purpose of education. The education is not just to know something, but have strong body with a good character, a positive mental attitude, and potential to think rationally. Much focus should be emphasized on acquiring practical wisdom. Hence, we can authenticate education turns mirrors into windows. In order to have practical wisdom, one has to be open that portal of introspection and see if they have few beliefs, control their worldly desires, and has the free thinking mind to look beyond the horizon. The paramount importance of education is that it should imbibe in us the nitty gritties of life. Overall, education has and will turn mirror into windows. The key factors for changing mirror into windows in education. There are three key factors. Let me begin with engage, motivate, and challenge. The rising in the challenge. High school graduates, for example, high school graduates, college instructors, and employers agree that students are significantly underprepared in writing. Areas in which there are gaps include graduates' abilities to read and understand and complicated material, think analytically, apply what they learn to learn real world problems, and communicative orally. A low percentage of graduates surveyed said that they were challenged in high school itself. So we have to open up the high school itself, how to think and how to convert them and how to put them in a zone of higher order thinking skill. A large majority of the graduates said they would have worked hard in high school if more challenging courses had been offered. That's the biggest task, and that's the biggest challenge we are facing mainly in Indian schools. And preparing students for college and work. A strong positive relationship exists between the amount and the kind of high school course work students take and the readiness for college. The more courses students take and the more challenging those courses, the more likely these students will be college ready and will persist to a college degree. The application of key factors. As I already explained to you, the engage, motivate, it's very, very important factors now. Engaging and motivating readers with three type of connections to the text at high school level. Three levels of reading support, they are guided, directed, and independent. Gradual release of responsibility leads students to become independent learners. The concept of self-learning should be on the card. Let me explain how it can be done. Engage. The guided reading teachers should guide students through reading models with during reading support. Motivate. Directed reading. Teachers assist with pre and post reading support and students monitor their own comprehension so that they can develop the comprehending skill. Challenge. Independent reading. Students apply skills and strategies to a variety of tasks. So this way, this is the right, we can set the right platform at high school itself so that overall I could say education can convert or transform mirrors into windows. Now I'm going to the next topic, the Indian education versus foreign education. We'll start from the first point, the teaching methodology. In Indian schools or Indian education in particular, teaching is a mere theoretical, whereas in foreign education, teaching is more practical and application oriented. Here it is teachers, it is more teachers driven, but it is In foreign education, it is students driven. Classrooms teaching forms a large part of students' engagement. Non-classroom teaching forms a good part of student engagement in foreign education. That's a gulf of difference between Indian education and foreign education. Now, students learning. As far as learning is concerned, students are encouraged to assimilate information in Indian education system. Learning is meant to enhance one's knowledge base. Whereas in foreign education, students are encouraged to explore and participate outside classroom sessions to learn information in varied ways, so that we are best equipped. For example, over here the parents are much interested in Indian schools, put them only in engineering stream or medical stream. Over there, they have got area of interest. Students can develop. Students can switch over to any area of interest over there. That's why they have a more job opportunities compared to Indian pattern of education. Now, the reason, you know, that new education policy paves a way for art integrated learning. Probably, if it works out wonder, yes, we can equal the challenges of foreign education too. We can open the floodgates for our Indian student to excel. Now, go to academic autonomy. Look at the autonomy there. Indian universities have limited academic autonomy. So they have to go for university grant commission, or they are subject to various paperwork and documentation. Foreign universities have a lot of academic autonomy. They have an autonomy there. Of course, we have autonomous institutions in India too, but not. It's more relevant, more familiar in foreign universities. They need to meet requirements laid down by state or central education bodies. That is the main drawback we face in Indian education system. But over there, in compared to foreign universities, can easily launch novel subjects or programs to respond industry or needs or current trends. For example, you're bringing a change course here. Now there are a lot of courses are coming up in some Indian universities too, like MSc medical physics, MSc nanophysics. There are branches, but not as it's prevalent in foreign universities. So that's why most of the students of India are being encouraged to study abroad, so that the career can be blossomed or they can switch out to any career easily. But over here we're restricted, where our areas are being restricted. Again, it's high time that parents should realize they should. That's the thing. The topic itself says very clearly, education should open windows. That's an important aspect of. So a beautiful connectivity here. Students can select in Indian universities or Indian education system. Student can select only from a limited number of subjects as allowed for the stream. Yes, now CBSE, yes, it brought a change in Indian universities to Indian education system. In class 12, you can go for any combination of subjects. That's a welcome sign. It should be like that. For example, those who are opting for physics can go for humanities too, or can go for statistics. That is a beautiful setup we have started having it. Probably to expose our children, that's the experience we are facing now, probably for the last 2 years. I think all the educationists are hitting the school, and the principals over here, they will accept. Students over there in foreign universities or foreign education system, students can select from across many subjects as mainstream as well, right from the school level, even high school level. They have, your grading system also, you see, they award marks to the children those excel in sports. But over here, sports is not taken very seriously. There are various arts sections are there, drawings are there, but they are not encouraged. Switching subjects or major electives after course commences is not possible. In Indian system, you cannot switch over a course. If I did PO commerce, I can only go to a commerce stream. I cannot switch over to science stream. But over in foreign education, yes, you can switch over. There are possibilities. Now, research and learning. Go to the next one. Research and learning pattern. You see, research in Indian universities is quite low. We do not have that. Okay, it has improved a bit in recent years. Yeah, I have seen some of the universities, the students, those are opting for commerce or economics in degree level, maybe in undergraduate level. Now they are exposed to research level. They are going for internship training. It was done only in engineering before, but now they started doing it in India because of that quality and competition. Now foreign education system have a excellent research system. They have environment with projects and resources available across most streams and fields of study. I do remember one of my close friend is very good in sports, but he could not do anything in Indian universities. He switched himself to Auckland University, New Zealand, where he opted for sports medicine. In the beginning, he had problem, of course, with the language, but slowly picked up. Now he had a beautiful career there. But India, it's not like that. Now, what happens here? Being a sportsman, I'll tell you, even after winning a national medal, you will be placed in a category 3 in railways or postal department. Now that's the reason why you cannot see much sportsmen in the Olympic. Now people are coming out slowly. That's the thing I'm telling you, that areas are not vast. It is not vast here. Now need to improve upon. Now, but more work needs to be done in funding and research infrastructure. Funding is not there in Indian universities. That's a big problem. Indian education system. Funding is missing. But look at that. Students have many research and to choose from. Now look at the cost of education. Probably that's the only plus point we have in Indian education system. In Indian education system, it is less expensive. But again, it is more expensive to study abroad. The tuition fees can be expensive in some of the colleges and courses. You're going to top-rated universities and top-rated schools, yes, you need to pay more. For example, there are some schools in Chennai, and if the tuition fees and even the fees for the whole year, it crosses easily 5 lakhs per year. There are schools. It's becoming expensive. Few schools in India, but and an average when we see that expense cost is very low compared to foreign education system. The incidental cost like accommodation, food, yeah, whereas in foreign system and foreign education system, the incidental cost like accommodation, food, and travel can be quite a lot. Yes, that's the reason why the Indian students are thinking twice. There are beautiful courses offered in German universities, Singapore universities, and there are Australian national universities in Canberra. Students have started switching over now, and they are getting a beautiful this accommodation and other living expenses are lower in than abroad in Indian education system. But unless students get scholarship in foreign education system and foreign universities, the fees could be a huge cost burden. That's the only negative we could take in foreign education. Otherwise, you go for research system, go for real life experience. They have a much exposure, greater ambience compared to Indian foreign system, foreign education system as a whole. Now, the scholarships, the availability of scholarship is lower than in universities abroad. Scholarships are available in Indian universities, of course, but only for the top rankers. But whereas you go to foreign system or foreign universities, scholarships are available plenty. Scholarships have been around for a very long time there. There are many options for scholarships available in foreign education system. Awareness and availability of scholarship have started now in Indian system recent years, but it was not before. When I was in college, we do not have much scholarship system. Only the toppers will be awarded, but others they do not have a scholarship. But now slowly it's coming into reckoning. Based on economic status, based on academic performance, there are various courses can be selected. Yeah. So now performance assessment. Here, as I told you already, the assessment we are using grading system here. Now exams and marks form a major assessment, students assessment in Indian education system. Pen paper test, always test. And over there you see, they talk about projects, they talk about research, they talk about non-classroom participation. And as I told you already, even the sports performance is taken into a great category. But now, as I told you recently, the NEP might pave the way for Indian system too. Probably will include other co-curricular activities in that. The relative grading is catching up in many universities, many institutions in Indian system now. Relating reading, for example, has always been more popular in foreign education, but now it's in India is slowly coming into picture. Now selection basis in admission in Indian system, yeah, are merit based. Admissions are purely merit based. For example, we have got JE, we got NEET. Of course, we have TOEFL and GMAT and all, even foreign universities too. There's no denying in that. But still, again, even in getting this college, for example, getting the Sriram College of Commerce, Delhi, probably St. Stephen's, Mumbai, it's not an easy cakewalk for us. And we need to have a proper selection system there. They have a quota system, but again, it's not that easy for every children from remote area to go get admission into the bigger colleges where they can get better exposure. There's a big fine university in southern side called Christ University in Bangalore. There you have to get into that admission into Christ University, not an easy task again. So that based only on completely merit based in Indian system, Indian education. But admissions are purely merit based over there too. But again, students pursuing professional sports are given preference. That is not the case in Indian system. Other criteria over here, we are talking about government schemes and admission is possible sometime. Public quota system, probably economical system, economically backward people are, they have been pushed up. But again, as I told you, those who got excellent knowledge or that take or interest in sports, they are much welcomed in foreign education system. Job opportunities, this is the most important aspect. This is the thing we can, there's a gap. We have to bridge the gap between Indian education system and foreign education system. Top universities provide, top universities in India definitely provide good job opportunities. All the IITs, all the IIMs. So barring these IITs and IIMs, we have plenty of colleges, plenty of universities, not less than, it's not less than 200 universities in India. So think about that universities. Yes, lesser ranked colleges may find it very difficult to provide placements or other opportunities to the students. Only of top rated universities, yes, of course, there are job opportunities. But again, when you're comparing as a whole, hardly 5 to 10% of the students get job opportunities very easily, those who are under Indian education system. Whereas in foreign system, international degrees gives or provides very good job opportunities home and abroad. After graduating, students and interested in jobs can get other opportunities like joining research assistants or in-house college openings. That's a plus point in foreign education system. It's not necessary you have to crack on any jobs, but there are various. But slowly, as I told you, of recent years, on Indian education system, yeah, they started getting started welcomed by the people again, but still more to be done in this area. And let us hope we will not be a mere pushover in the years to come. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity. And since the time limit is only 10 minutes, I rushed a bit. I think enough is discussed with me, but there are beautiful speakers following me, including Mr. Dheeraj Megotra, the experienced and seasoned campaigner. Definitely will have a lot to say. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shelly, ma'am, for giving me.
Thank you, Dr. Balachandra. It was a beautiful lecture and indeed a detailed report what you have given us. I'm sure the audience might be enlightened today, and I'm looking forward for some interesting questions for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Now, next we have the dynamic speaker who doesn't require any introduction, but our audience are curious to know about her, and I shall not disappoint them. She's none other than Dr. Tanya Simmons from USA. Dr. Tanya Simmons has carried the vision of healing for the nations in her heart for more than 20 years. She helps train, equip, empower people in various nations. This vision was birthed through much pain after the loss of her first husband and wanted to make a difference through the love of God, compassion, and strategic impact amongst developing nations. Dr. Tanya Simmons has been involved with multiple humanitarian relief projects throughout the world, some of those including Haiti, Ukraine, the USA, and Pakistan. She is the founder of Healing for the Nations and bringing forth the global vision with the help of global partners internationally. She is also the appointed head chancellor of the Breakthrough Seminary University registered in Africa, UK, and other nations. She has been in healthcare as a registered nurse for more than 25 years. Now, as a professor of nursing, raising the next generation of leaders in the nursing field has been extremely important to her heart as well. During these times, it is imperative that we give back with passion and love for others. She also is the founder of Global Empowerment Firm, which empowers through online workshops, challenges, and education. As a member of Power Women of Excellence community, as well as the Strength for Who's Who worldwide of business leaders, she believes in helping people through a spirit of excellence. She is a keynote speaker, author, global change agent, chancellor of Breakthrough Theological University. She has been in academia and healthcare for more than 25 years with a neuroscience oncology background. Now, there are people that are truly suffering in every way, which may include hunger, lack of medical care, or access, that are truly suffering in every way, which may include hunger, you know, and some of the initiative that we developed with the help of various partnerships have been clean water by implementing water
Mhm.
in a remote village of Saints. Now, in this remote village, the women and the children were walking miles for clean
Mhm.
water,
Mhm.
and some of them very afraid due to the real possibility of being taken and sold into the slavery of all forms. Now,
Mhm.
this is something very nice and very, I mean, it speaks volumes of a profile, interesting and commendable. So, Dr. Tanya Simmons, it needs huge appreciation, ma'am. Please share your nuggets of wisdom with us on the said topic. Welcome to the platform.
Well, thank you so much, Shelley. Can you hear me okay? I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. You're
Okay,
audible, ma'am.
perfect. Okay, great. So, welcome everyone. I'm so excited and honored, Shelley. Thank you so much, Dr. Shelley, for inviting me onto this amazing platform. That lecture was absolutely amazing that we just heard. So, I'm just honored to be on the platform with all of these lecturers and academics from around the world. This is an amazing opportunity to get our focus on education and to get our heart focused on really the need for education. We obviously right now within the U.S. have experienced tremendous upheaval in different ways. We've got great successes, but also great upheavals. So, because my background is in healthcare and education, I'm going to mix the two, if that's okay. And so, I'm going to bring forth some data in regards to COVID, the Delta variant, and how it's affecting education within the US as well. So, my first thing is obviously education is important. We all know that, we obviously, but it needs to be taught. Obviously, it needs to be spread. That message needs to be spread within the home first. And we see that, over the years, teachers and professors and people of academia have had strong impact among children, even in, obviously elementary education, the importance of guiding young minds and instilling a hope and instilling, like we were talking about, windows of opportunity through education. Education is a vehicle in order to, expand, to grow, to instill, to develop personally in every area of your life. So I look back on, my education, and I thank the Lord for those teachers that were impactful in my life. Those teachers that actually cared about my development. They took time with me in the classroom. I wasn't just a number, but I was a student that mattered to them. This is important for every educational, person who is in that position of influence. That is a sphere of influence that we've all been given as educators that we need to operate and use wisely, in that position, not to abuse the authority, but to use it wisely. And because our, how should I put it, what we say, how we say it, what we teach, how we teach it, will be an imprint and an impact upon that young mind. And so we are helping to instill and develop and guide those young minds in elementary school. So that's an important place of authority. Not only that, but elementary education, obviously, and then you get into excuse me, and then you get into junior high. Uh, then, oh, excuse me, I'm having a little difficulty here. Hold on just a second. Can you hear me, Shelley? Okay, good. I'm just going to go on. In the fact that, and then you get into elementary, then you get into, obviously middle school development, and then you get into high school and secondary, obviously college, university, and then postgraduate. Um, I think I'm having, oh, there we go. Okay, good. I'm back. And then you get into obviously post-secondary, education and that type of thing. So we understand the importance of education. Now, over the past couple of years, even 2 years, how has this been, how should I say, affected through the COVID pandemic? Well, me being a professor in, obviously college education, I can say honestly, we weren't fully equipped for going from, brick and mortar school to virtual online. I was one of 5 professors picked to develop, lectures and put them online for our school. And so those things we need to, I think, when we've moved through the pandemic, we become more efficient. Obviously, we've learned Zoom in and out because of different meetings, but we've become more efficient as educators, I think, in order to handle the unexpected. And so these things are important, especially when, the stress of the pandemic, has been on the students and on the teachers as well. We can see, that how that's happened. Increase of depression, anxiety, other mental health issues have been on the rise, not only in the US, but globally as well. And those things have to be addressed. When we're in education, we don't only address the mind, we address the whole body. We address the physical concerns, even of the students. When we see people who are children who have been neglected or aren't getting the care they need, then it's the educators that sometimes step in and, help in that kind of capacity. As educators, we have a huge platform of influence. We not only influence the mind, we help in multiple areas of the child's development and the student's development, which is an important factor for educators globally as well as in the US. We need to own that place of authority and influence and position and use it wisely. And I believe for the most part, most educators do that. But we have to understand our realm of influence, how it can be very impactful, and flow in that. I want to be also very mindful of our time because I don't want to hog all the time here. So I want to be very, respectful of our time. So I'm watching that. I hope I'm doing that well, Shelley. But that's the first thing, the importance of that, and our influence in that. So some the advantages of the education within America, I think we have really great opportunities here in regards to funding, research and development. We have some really great Ivy League schools. My dad is an international scholar himself, and he's learned from the very best of the best. And so I've been on the campuses of Yale and Duke and and all of that, and Oxford International and all of that. And so my point being is this, is that, yes, those are great institutions, and yes, we're getting great education, but I also want to address the inflation and the rates of our education. Here, I was listening to a documentary just a couple of days ago, and if anyone's following this, there's a new rise of people here in the US they're actually being called Henrys. And so these are millennials. They're actually 20 to 35 years old. They've been, in college, they've graduated, and they are earning over a six-figure income, and they are struggling because they're having to pay back their loans. The inflation rates are, very high. And so they are basically barely making it from what they have said. And so it's hard to fathom that, an income of over six figures and they're struggling. But this is the case. And so you know, uh, uh, I myself have a little bit of college debt, not a lot, but that's something that's a negative. Now, looking into foreign education, in comparison, my goodness, I mean, there are new universities popping up globally that don't even charge for their education. I mean, I've been on platforms globally, that have been speaking about this. They don't even charge for their education. It's a good education. So you look at that and I want to address the fact that, I feel like everyone needs an opportunity for education, and it needs to be at a fair price for education. We need to do as much as we can in order to help children, young adults get the education that they need, a good quality education, in order to impact our culture positively, in order to be productive in our communities, obviously here in the US, but internationally as well. Yes, sports comes into a big play on that. Obviously there's scholarships available and things like that, but it's very highly competitive, within the US. And so there are different things they're looking for there. And like our prior lecturer was talking about in India, you've got excellent players there, excellent sports programs. I love India. And so that would be something I'd love to see personally, take off and take a rise and really move forward. So I think there's great opportunity for that to happen in India for sure. I think we all need each other globally. I think it would be nice to have some kind of consistency in our education, globally would be nice. And I'm not talking, I'm just talking about some consistency of practice would be really, really a nice thing to look at. So the other thing would be too, would be, we've covered costs. The big thing here right now is, I was talking about the COVID pandemic. Well, right now we're in the month of July going into August. Most school starts in August or September here. And so, according to the AMA, American Medical Association, they're talking about right now, obviously possibly mandating vaccines for even children. They're talking about all of that kind of stuff. And so there's upheaval within that kind of conversation. Do we not for children? Just because Delta variant is happening, there's a rise in our COVID cases here again, and it's Delta variant related. So that is definitely impacting our education here. And, the foresight of, should we open our schools? Should we not open our schools? Should we require mask mandation? Should we, those are the topics right now. And so we have more parents looking to go to homeschooling, or, trying to find independent studies or other avenues where our children can get, a quality education, but maybe not have to be exposed in that kind of capacity. So these are the real high, these are the questions right now. These are the pressing issues, that we're all talking about. It's not only in the U.S., but it's across the world globally. And yes, our public health concerns are having an impact on our education system. That cannot be separated. Though that is a definite, thing that we have to look at. We have to, really weigh in the balance, and we have to, look at it logically, but practically. Is it acceptable to ask a 3-year-old to wear a mask? Is that something that we're going to do? And so these are the questions. Education is definitely opportunity to look out of that window and to increase your opportunity to take your personal growth, your development, your personal development to a much higher level. But I think it starts in the home. The thirst and the knowledge for education, that has to be instilled into our children at a young age. Reading development, most CEOs read quite an extensive amount of books per month, per week, per day. And so reading has to be pushing. Then that we get into another issue with the rise of technology, and it's so much easier to just download an audio book and to listen than it is right now to take out a hardback and to read. So how do we address those issues with our young children and our teenagers, and and that kind of thing? And so we have information like we've never had information at our fingertips right now. It is an information age. And so we need to be wise as educators and know how to use that information to fully impact our young children, our teenagers, and the next generation, to where as they can maximize their education and they can pass on that legacy for the thirst of education in our countries. So that's what I have to say in regards to education being window. We have to rise up as the leaders we're called to be, and make a positive impacts on this generation, because we only have a short time to do so. We don't live forever, and we need to leave a legacy that will speak for itself in the following generations, because education is important, and that needs to be the message. So whether it's in the US or globally, India, Greece, my dear friend Radia is here. She's amazing. I'm excited to listen to her. And, in all countries across the world, education is super important, needs to be addressed, and needs to be executed with excellence in our classrooms, whatever level of education that is. So God bless. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Dr. Shelley. I appreciate it.
My heartfelt thanks and gratitude for the fantastic, golden words which came throughout your speech, But due to time constraint, I'll not be speaking much, and I'll invite the other guests, and I'm looking forward for some interesting questions for you.
Yes, yes.
So, next we have a very renowned name in the field of education, a celebrated eminent guest speaker, Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra. He's the principal, NPS International School, Guwahati, Assam. He's an author and soft skill trainer with expertise in Six Sigma, holds Limca Book of Records. Dr. Mehrotra has experience of over 3 decades as an educator. He earlier held the position of Vice President Academics at Next Education India Private Limited and Education Officer at GEMS Education. He is also the former principal of Day Indian Public School, New Delhi. Dr. Mehrotra has also been affiliated with some of the leading schools in India, which includes the Bishop Johnson School, Allahabad, the Boys High School, Allahabad, and City Montessori School, Lucknow. He is the National Awardee year 2005, honored by the President of India at Vigyan Bhavan, New Delhi, former Vice President Academics at Next Education. Wow, we are really blessed to have him here today and is looking forward for his insights and takeaways. I welcome you, sir. The platform is all yours. Please share your thought-provoking lecture to learn something from you. Welcome, sir, on the platform. It's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shelley, and thank you, wonderful panelists before me, Madam Tanya and Sir, my mentor, my elder brother. You really brought forward wonderful initiatives and notion, which could actually give us the thought for the day, in fact, how quality education is so very important, and we as educators need to actually roll out as not only a practice but a habit. Well, as the topic today talks about turning mirrors into windows, I recall Sidney Harris, who rightly says the whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. but I add on to it that it should not be only windows, it should be actually doors and through portals for learning, and exhibiting the learning should be a priority by each one of us. Well, it can be interpreted in many, many ways, but for sure with a reason, as academics or the academia as a platform today deals of a greater importance today. And Corona has struck it, given us challenges, converting them into, of course, opportunities of learning for lifetime. And it has brought us many lessons for us. And for sure, it has converted right from mirrors to portals of learning. Today, we can find that every individual teacher is a producer of information. They're producing movies, they're producing digital content, and they have converted themselves into directors as far as the learning is concerned. For sure, he or she is of a new venture. The new avatar has developed out of that individual, which once we used to call as a teacher. Today, that teacher is an educator, a learner, a curator, for sure. And when we talk about this, that person can only watch his own reflection in those mirrors and will make all his beliefs based on the solely of that, bearing in mind. But today, the learning has taken a new change altogether. Today, learning is more like a priority for all of us, even when we are talking about virtual classrooms. Today, teaching in a virtual arena is 10 times, I say 10x, difficult for the teachers, because not only the children are there, but in the form of stakeholders, we have so many people around. And for them, we need to be the best and the better than the best. And that is what is the expertise required for we, the teachers. Well, in India, the education fraternity has now clubbing up to our new education policy for our foreign friends, friends from abroad. I would like to, mention a little about the National Education Policy 2020, which has integrated and introduced coding at a young age to enhance the exposure to technology and create a path to a new world of innovation and creativity. Well, as the government makes effort to reform the education system, it is the educator and the school leaders who will actually bring about this change. So we have already implemented that, like we have already started courses on robotics and coding and other platforms. Artificial intelligence has taken a new chapter here as one of the subjects in Indian schools as per the Central Board of Secondary Education in India. And we believe in entitling, in fact, encouraging and innovating the creativity, enhancing their potentials to actually prepare them well for the future challenges. And that comes with the idea of imparting education, which actually hosts varied number of methods and techniques that's going to build the child's overall personality and various skills at large. That competency is being catered to the universal availability of the courses today via MOOCs, as my panelist also defined, that many of the universities are offering free courses under the MOOCs platform. And we, the Indian universities, also here, we have IITs who are actually running MOOCs courses for global world, in fact. And I'm happy to share here that even I have developed, contributed to the Udemy courses of mine. I have created over 430 courses on Udemy platform, which caters to over 7 lakh students from 140 plus countries. And that includes the image in access to an impression of who you are today and how you're guiding the education world as a priority. For sure, as we can match out very, ailingly, that Corona has changed the structure. The expertise of individuals have gathered a new notion, and the education world has witnessed the same over a couple of years with no real classrooms, no real children, at pace teaching and learning to the new world order in particular, proficiency is what is the control today. And that proficiency has to upgrade itself with the march of time if you want an existence in the society as an educator. You have to learn, learn, and learn with the preference of what is the requisite today. We don't say that the software giants like that of IBM and other companies, the Google world, they're producing as per the desired spectrum. And we as educators need to actually explore the world as a continuous Kaizen activity. And as it enables people to know the world beyond their own surroundings and transforms them into different individuals, I would say that literacy has to be a hobby today. The literacy about the new platform available for teaching, or the literacy towards how I'm going to, bring an engaged culture in the classroom. What are the platforms I'm using? How I'm going to make a mistake online and get retrieved to the notion by the children in existence. Well, we have had reforms in the school curriculum and the pedagogy over a couple of years for sure. And today, with the inception of the technology integration in education, all our schools are well equipped with how and why about introducing ICT skills to engage the children. Even the new education policy has defined a prerequisite for the schools to get prepared for these pandemic, so that they have an infrastructure to that notion. A new comprehensive national curricular framework for the school education has been developed by the NCERT, which is National Council for Research and Training, and that multilingualism and the power of language has been integrated, because in India we have many languages, and these languages need to be clubbed with the policies which has actually come forward to emphasize on the mother tongue, the local language, the regional language, as well as the media of instructions, at least till grade 5, and preferably till grade 8 and beyond. And the languages like Sanskrit to be offered at all levels of school and higher level education as an option to students, including the three language formula. So we are trying to integrate the local languages for better understanding of our children, their course curriculum, and in addition to that, a very special notion on several foreign languages which have been included at secondary level, and the notion has been given to the Indian Sign Language as well, for getting it standardized all across the nation in the national as well as the state curriculum is being developed. Well, we are planning through the National Education Policy Framework, which is going to have a shift from the summative assessment to regular and formative assessment, which is actually being benchmarked from the quality practices internationally. And for that reason, all students, are looking forward to take school examinations in grade 3, 5, and 8, and they will be conducted by different authorities. That is the notion that we at this particular platform, the National Education Policy in India, we are aiming to ensure that no child loses any opportunity to learn and excel because of the circumstances of birth or background. And that's the notion. Special emphasis is being, planned to be given on socially and economically disadvantaged group, which include the gender, the social, cultural, and the geographical identities, and even the disabilities. This includes the Gender Inclusion Fund and also the special education zones accordingly. For sure, we are aiming to ensure universal access to all levels of school education. And here the new education policy emphasizes on ensuring universal access to school education at all levels, including the preschool to the secondary level. Well, for sure, as we know that with the world's largest, I would say second largest population after China, of course, we in India are fast growing with an influential economy. it is actually unsurprising that India's higher education system has undergone even rapid expansion over the past few decades. And India now has one of the largest higher education systems in the world after the China and the US, of course, and to an outsider, perhaps one of the most complex. So we are looking forward to that spectrum as well. Also, on the very notion, I would like to highlight here that the national education policy provides and looks forward to actually providing the ingredients and the right recipe here of the international standards. And for sure, we, the educators, the heads of schools, are going to look forward to actually, try to implement it. And it attempts to break free from the shackles of the past. Here we are aiming to adopt the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 model for a school education starting at age 3. And it recognizes the primacy of the formative years from the ages 3 to 8 in shaping the child's future. And it also recognizes the importance of learning in the child's mother tongue till at least class 5, which I mentioned earlier. So these are some of the attributes I wanted to showcase. Of course, we all are looking forward to the spectrum post corona, the preparedness we have to have for our children who are coming back to the physical walls of the classroom, and for sure, there's going to be a great challenge for all of us to get prepared to the new normal, the new practices, because the children are well versed sitting in front of their virtual screen, and they are occupying all our vocabulary like no talking, discipline yourself, sit straight, have taken a notion on asking, am I audible, am I visible, and things like that. So I think we are going to be revisiting on our capsules and the pedagogies when the children come back again, right? With that spectrum, I say rest to my speech for today, and I look forward to having an interaction further as well as far as the questions or the queries are concerned, because I look forward, there are many other speakers. So thank you, Dr. Shelley, and thank you so much for being so gentle and so possibly right on this particular pattern to take this important issue on the go about converting mirrors into windows, but I add on here converting mirrors into doors so that people can walk through, because windows have a limitation of watching through only, but doors provide you a passage to walk through. So let's have doors through pass through, and not only one door but portals of existence and pass through. So thank you very much, and God bless everybody.
Fantastic, Dr. Dheeraj, especially to add on, and it's such a delight to have all important, insights and takeaways from you. Thank you so much, for your insights. And now, audience, I invite one of the most celebrated names amongst the education industry. I feel fortunate and blessed that she has accepted our invite and is on a spree to enlighten us with her golden words. Your guess is all right. I'm talking of none other than Miss Rania Lampu from Greece. She is a global educator, a STEM instructor, and an ICT teacher trainer in Greece. She has a postgraduate degree, MAd, in language teaching related to cognitive neurosciences, and she is also a passionate researcher on cognitive psychology, cognitive neurosciences, and neuroeducation. She has been awarded many national and international prizes so far, and she is a Global Teacher Award 2020 winner and a Global Teacher Prize finalist 2019 also. Furthermore, she is a social activist, a global peace ambassador, and ambassador of the Ecumenical Delphic Union. She is also a part of the educational committee of the Ecumenical Delphic Union in collaboration with Harvard University. She is also an international executive member of Global Edu Leaders Forum, honorary ambassador of Charles Waters Society for Innovation and Research, education ambassador, and member of the International Organization of Educators and Research. Ambassador of the National Education Policy 2020 of India, International Advisor of the South Asian Institute of Advanced Research and Development, Center for Peace Advocacy and Sustainable Development, K-12 Digest Magazine, International Youth Society, Global Peace Councils, and a mentor of the 100 Mentors platform. It is an on and on and on profile. I'm so sorry, the audience. I think the time and day will not be, sufficient to keep on telling about her. She is a super amazed, and I am really amazed for her profile. Deserves huge applause and praise. Welcome, ma'am, and please rock the session. The stage is all yours.
Greetings from Greece. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible, ma'am.
Greetings from Greece. I'm very, very honored and excited to participate in this so enriching and resourceful event about education. Congratulations to all the previous speakers. And today we're going to explore actually educational systems. I'm going to talk about the Greek educational system. And before this, we need to formulate some questions. Are students well prepared to meet the challenges of the future? Are they able to analyze, reason, and communicate their ideas effectively? Do they have the capacity to continue learning throughout life? Parents, students, and public, and those who run education systems need to know the answers to these questions. Many education systems monitor student learning in order to provide some answers to these questions. So I believe that this session today is very significant because comparative international analysis can extend and enrich our national picture by providing a larger context within we can interpret our national performance. So this analysis today, this overview of different educational systems of different countries can provide countries with information to judge their areas of relative strength and weakness and to monitor progress. This can also stimulate countries to raise aspirations and provide evidence to direct national policy for schools curriculum and instructional efforts and for students' learning. So when considering what different education systems do, it is important to acknowledge two things. First, that what works in one country may not work in another as context, culture, and history matter. Secondly, there are no single answers for complex questions. This means that no one factor can solely explain why one country may or may not do well. So in my country, Greece, the educational system is mainly characterized by its versatile character, which is ordained by numerous laws and decrees. It's actually a highly centralized system and governed by parliamentary laws and executive acts managed by a powerful centralized bureaucracy. And this system remains centralized with low levels of responsibility at the regional and local level. So over the years, the Greek ministry has made significant changes to the education system, most of which were mandated by the wish of each government to adopt recent scientific findings and acclaim the education models of other countries in the world. So adapting state-of-the-art research in the field of education, as well as foreign education practices to meet the needs of the Greek society and labor market, has resulted in a multi-layered educational system. Most students in Greece attend public schools of all levels, for which there are no tuition fees, and 4 to 6% of the student population enrolls in private schools of all levels. However, it's important to say that our current Greek educational landscape has been influenced by the economic crisis in 28, the rise in public debt, and decline in public expenditure. Moreover, Greece has a relatively inclusive school system. The school system is comprehensive, so does not separate students into different academic tracks. And this is a positive approach because as early student selection has a negative impact on students assigned to lower tracks without raising the performance of the whole school system. We have, of course, the compulsory education in Greece includes 2 years compulsory attendance for 4 years old in pre-primary school, 6 year attendance of pupils in pre-primary school, and 3 years attendance of pupils in primary school, and 3 years attendance of students in lower secondary education school. This is the compulsory education. And our formal education system includes 3 levels, daycare center up to the age of 12, age of 30 years old. And we have also the primary education. And recently, hopefully, in primary education, there were big reforms. In primary education, now there is a single type of all-day primary education services that are provided with a revised timetable curriculum. And here, then our new curricula fall under what we call the cross-thematic curriculum framework for compulsory education. This cross-thematic approach, interdisciplinarity, defines the structure of teaching on the basis of a balanced, horizontal, and vertical distribution of education material. So it promotes cognitive subject interconnection as well as comprehensive analysis of key concepts. As in addition, we have in primary education what we call flexible zone discipline. It's a discipline which allows teachers to do interdisciplinary projects. The syllabus for this subject taught focuses, of course, on the traditional subjects such as Greek, mathematics, natural sciences, but also on foreign languages. And recently, I'm very, very happy because it was announced by the Ministry of Education that the next academic year, we have the compulsory program, what we call Lab of Skills, which is a brand new innovative educational initiative which aims at the cultivation of soft skills, life skills, technology skills, and scientific literacy among students such as robotics and STEM. I should mention here that I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education at the Directorate of Education, Technology, and Innovation, where now I'm writing a STEM project for Greek schools, and I'm trying to promote through my projects. I'm trying to promote STEM vision, not only Greece but also worldwide, because of many international STEM projects. Why STEM? Because I think the STEM is the future of education. Unfortunately, it's not integrated in many curriculum all around the world. I think it's Australia so far and the USA. And STEM projects, it's actually focused on inquiry, student-led investigations through open-ended real-life problems and hands-on activities, and students to become out-of-the-box interesting creators. So let's not forget that we are in the age of the fourth industrial revolution with artificial intelligence, with big data. So we need a new learning system, a new learning ecosystem. We need problem-based learning, project-based learning, challenge-based learning, inquiry-based learning, stimulate creativity. And instead of focusing on standardized thinking, correct answers, and objectivity of judgment, we need to create a learning environment that will stimulate, as said before, diverse interpretations, creativity. We need to create a culture that accepts potential mistakes and potential failures, and the ability in students to turn these failures into experiences. We need, of course, to encourage collaborative learning. Through online learning, this was possible also. We have many collaborative platforms that we can leverage, stimulate technology learning. So what is very important in the curriculum of the fourth industrial revolution is, of course, to upgrade the technical side of the curriculum to accommodate the learning of the next generation robotics and the 3D printing. But at the same time, we need to focus on the human dimension and incorporate non-technical disciplines such as communication, arts, movement arts, marketing, in order to develop cross-cutting competencies and the mindset beyond technical expertise. At the same time, alongside with technical skills, we need to pay attention to the questions of ethics, social inclusion, and sustainability. That means it's important to incorporate sustainable development goals into our curriculum. So offer a holistic view. This is how a future curriculum of the fifth industrial revolution, because we are also at the threshold of the fifth industrial revolution, should be. What about secondary education? There are in Greece several types of junior high schools in Greece. So we have also the option of experimental and model junior high school. And although upper level secondary education is not compulsory in Greece, most students attend high school. Very also important is that higher education. The percentage of university graduates is considerably high in Greece, and most of them attend 4-year studies in university departments, in technological university departments, as well as various departments of pedagogical and technological education. And students also can enroll in the Hellenic Open University, where they pay tuition fees, and they're admitted through an annual lottery system. The Greek tertiary education system is characterized by a high attendance. Um, why? Because tertiary education, traditionally in Greece, university education is highly valued and is considered an important part of someone's overall education, relatively independent of employment prospects. In the context of economic crisis and exceptionally difficult youth labor market and high rates of graduate unemployment, the management of this phase of education, however, in Greece, it's critical to labor market. So it is worrying that the mechanism that would not formally link provision of tertiary education opportunities with labor market requirements, all these are weak in Greece. So another problem that I mentioned is that the government of tertiary education in Greece is not as highly centralized, but it is for the country schools, it is the most centralized in the European Union. We have also the general adult education.
Yeah, sorry to
Uh,
intervene.
yes,
Sorry to intervene.
yes.
We have two more speakers, and due to the time constraint, can I limit here? Because we will have the discussion also, actually, question answer round also. So please give me the liberty to invite the next speaker.
Okay.
So sorry for intervening. Ladies and gentlemen, simple living and high thinking is the thought when I first met this amazing personality. Thoroughly grounded, but his work speaks for himself. Yes, I'm talking about Dr. Raghavendra Kumar Dwivedi. He's a MSc PhD MPhil in physics, MEd DCS diploma in environmental science, and he has the total experience of 28 years in the field of education. And from the last 12 years, he's working as a principal, presently working with Dalmia Vidya Mandir, Rajnagar, Odisha. And he is a IAPT lifetime mentor. And if you talk about the recognitions, he's been awarded by Ministry of HRD as the best principal, Government of MP for Best Innovative Teacher Award, Best Science Teacher Award by Aditya Birla Group. And if you talk about the books, then he has written 10 books in total, exploring science from 6 to 8, Enrich Your Physics for class 12, A Career Guide, The Pathway of Life, Foundation Mathematics for 3rd to 5th classes, Teacher and Teachership for Teachers. Now he a pivotal role as the city coordinator also. District training coordinator appointed by COE CBSE Bhubaneswar. I take immense pride and pleasure in inviting Dr. Dwivedi to the August gathering. Please share your expertise with us today, sir. Welcome to the
Thank you.
platform.
Thank you, Dr. Sally. I'm pleasure to be here. And thank you very much for giving me opportunity to be a part of a speaker here.
Sir, I'm
It's a
not able to
privilege for
see
me.
you on the screen.
Uh,
Your audio is very much clear to me.
just a minute.
Sir, you can remove the
Here it is.
backdrop. Yeah, if you remove the backdrop, I think we will be able to see you on the screen.
Just
Audience, this is all technical glitches and all because we are totally dependent on the technology. So it happens sometimes. I think he's back. Yes, sir. Welcome to the show, sir. Dr. Dwivedi, you
yes.
can please continue.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Sally.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I could not
No, no, no. It's
put
it's
it that
perfectly
in
all
the.
right. We are more keen to hear you actually.
Yeah.
Please
Actually,
continue.
as already described by our Dr. Dheeraj Malhotra sir, he is a mentor of mine also. So, in education in India, in a primarily managed by state, run by public education system. So, Ministry of Education now earlier Ministry of HRD has changed now in India. Ministry of Education is now handling all the education system and state boards and other. So before starting, I would like to share one PPT, ma'am. Can you allow me? One PPT I want to share you. Can I allow?
Okay, you need to share the PPT.
Yeah,
Okay. Uh,
just a minute.
the share screen is there at the bottom, if you can see.
No, I'm doing that. Are you able to see
Yes, sir,
the
we are
screen?
able to see the PPT. You can put the
Yeah,
slideshow.
yeah. So education terms mirror in Indian education system versus foreign education. And if I talk about the Indian education system, start with the gurus, the talking you from the darkness to the taking you to darkness from the to the light. Indian higher education system actually gradually comes from the primary level to secondary level to higher secondary level, then graduation and then post graduation level. So this system is still going on as a new education policy. It is slightly made a change already discussed by our Malhotra sir, that it is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So 5 is a basic foundation course, and plus 3 means class third, fourth, fifth, and then plus 3 again is 6, 7, 8, and then again 5, 4 is a uh, 9 to 12th. This is the schooling system, and then the higher education system in India. So basically, the primary education system of India generally we see government schools and school system that goes in that very uh, hazardous basis, I can say, because in schools the number of children and number of teachers ratio is very poor, especially in India. When we talk about the Indian government lays emphasis to primary education up to the age of 14 years, that is referred as elementary education in India. So that is mandatory as per the RTA education. The Indian government has also banned child labor in order to ensure that the children do not enter unsafe working conditions. However, both free education and the ban on the child labor are the actually due to the economic disparity and social condition. About 80% of the recognized school at the elementary stages are there. So creating a child friendly environment is a big challenge in a schools, especially in government schools, because uh, uh, as per the new education policy, it is emphasized that we need to create a child friendly environment in the school campus. But because of the lack of resources, government is not able to reach in the government in the remote area. No doubt it is reaching to the district level and block level. But if you see the real BLG level, it is a very poor condition. But I'm sure with the new education policy, the coming years, this will also reach to the all schools of India. If I talk about the position, you can see the pictures and you can understand the Indian education system and the foreign education system. That Indian education system is still based on the blackboard, but the foreign education system is also more focusing on the technology based learning, and which is a very important. Although this pandemic condition has made us and to reach to all the corner and all the students in the second mode, that is called the virtual mode. And I'm happy to share you that the 80 to 90% the private schools especially are reaching to the children and connecting with the children with the Zoom and Microsoft Team and other the other links. So, but still in government schools, the children are not connecting as much. So we need to think about them also. Higher education system, as you know, in India, it's a very 5 years integrated course are available. IIM, IIT, IITs are also available for higher education, and especially Indian university. There are more than 1,000 universities are available in India, where which are catering to the children in even in the remote area also. The government has made the colleges, and they are providing the quality education. But still, there are a lot of need to be done in higher education system. India's higher education system is the third largest in the world after China and the United States. If I talk about the higher education, India's higher education system is the third largest in the world, and after China and United States, the main governing body at the tertiary level in the University Grant Commission, that is UGC, which the enforces its standard, advises the government, and the help coordinates between the center and the states. Accreditation for the higher learning over by the 12 autonomous institutions established by the Universities Grant Commission, so that education system is reformed and will be one of the largest. Indian government expenditure, if you talk about, so that 10.7% of the government spending goes to the education public expenditure on the education and distribution per level. If we talk about the India, and if we talk about the foreign countries, they are more than 36% to 37% in education system. So this is the basic difference between Indian education system and other education. Global Enhanced Program. The online project encourages our standard to collaborate, cooperate, and communicate with the students all over the world. This uses the cyberspace has led to the globalization of the education. As here already our previous speaker has spoken about these, that the globalization of the mirror, that means the window is open for all the world. Wherever you want to register, registration and undo the online courses. So this is what we call as open window. So learning curve has now uh, changed, and the learning curve is now reaching to all over the world. So connecting to the all over the world. Elementary education in India, if we talk about that, in 2006 school education, this is the very old diagram, but I can say that only 47% of the scholarship and 75% of the early admissions. But now it has reached to the 92% with the early admission, and 52% instead of 52% is multiple admission is that increase up to 75%. So this is the elementary education, but still 7 to 8% students are not able to register. So this is the matter of to think about this, why these 7 to 8% students are still not able to register for this for the primary education. Education in urban and rural areas, despite all the efforts of the government, utilization of the education in India remains. There is a literacy rates is 65% in 2001, and then 83% in the in the 90 89 90%, 91% is now in as per the 2011, and in the current ratio, it is expected that it has reached up to 94% of the literacy rate. But still, India has to work on it, especially in the rural area, because in rural area still the education is very low. Then it is less than 80%. So changing faces of education, as you know, blackboard to the keyboard has come, and this education change in education system has given the open window and open the mirror, reflected to reach to the across the country, across the world. And I'm sure India is also going very fast way to reach across the world for the grabbing the degrees and courses across the world. With the help of this way, the education, the girls' child education is more to be focused, because India is especially need to educate our girl children, because they are the future of our country. They are the real builder of the nation. So they need to be focused for education, because even one child will be given a good education, definitely the whole family will be educated. So this is very important to understand that the children of girl children should be more given advantage. Although in government of India, government of India also started Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan with the help of Sab Padhe Sab Badhe. Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan is actually DPET program already launched in 1994 and still is going on. But we need to work on it and collaborate with the each one teach one program. And I'm sure with the help of our efforts, this can be possible to reach to unreached children. Now, if I talk about the differences between the education in India and abroad, so education is the key of the success for any country and the betterment and of any individual. So there are different approaches towards education and depends on the culture and the mindset of the different races. More precisely, there is a difference between the approaches as far as an education is concerned in the Western countries and in India. In fact, there are clear-cut differences in the objectives of the education. So, education loans are available through the which Indian students can also get and admission in and do their courses. Nowadays, since the window has opened from online courses, so with the help of online courses, that is not much more costly. So I'm sure the children of the rural area also can reach and get the degree from the abroad and from the across the world. The foreign students take education more like learning process. Conversely, they opt for the line they are fascinated with the any go online only on for the course that is line of career. In this procedure, they like wait for the right kind of job and don't really consider time as an obstruction. So the objective of the education in India is more concerned with the higher salaries job, overseas chances, better marriages prospects, and increased status in the society. Analysts have also said that the difference is in like hell and heaven when it comes to the competition, aptitude, and job makers in the both zone. So this is the situation. The real pictures I'm just trying to show you the mirror. And abroad, the things are more relaxed due to the lesser population, more streamlined procedure, and lack of unfair means. Things are quite different when we talk about India. Money becomes the root cause because the courses are very expensive and can be taken only on an overseas education loan. So it is more about circumstances than choices for the many students. There are many people in India who are not financially sound, so they choose their courses accordingly to their ability. But but I'm sure with the new education policy, the government of India is also offering the children to go for higher education. Especially, I think in new education policy, one thing I mentioned that 1% of the students in higher education in can be also given chance to go uh, for the financial aid also. Yes, yet those who manages to get admission in the foreign schools are complained with their terms and conditions and the path of the set and to clear. The quality is much higher in the terms of the conclusive learning infrastructure and resources and other facilities. So, moreover, changes are also noticed in India with the top schools which focus on quality and better infrastructure, but there is still that gap between the foreign schools and Indian education institution. With the globalization, economies changes are being noticed, but it will take time to get the things in shape. In India, there are limited subjects, and compared to foreign, and most of the people from India wants to get graduate from the overseas. The basic approaches and methodology of teaching is in a different board. Just I'm reaching to the last
Dr.
slide.
Dwivedi, sorry to intervene. Sir, because of the time constraint, can you please wind up within 1 minute so that I can give the slot to Dr. Sharma also?
Yeah, just for this last slide one.
Yeah,
So
yes.
the
Sorry,
this
sir.
is in India, the focus of education is built on the depth of knowledge, whereas education is most foreign countries strikes a balance. Therefore, theoretical knowledge in India is the most more than the practical knowledge, and the syllabus is revised frequently. So the syllabus should be changed with the growing technology to fight back unemployment. The education system of India should understand that education is not about the suffering oneself with the knowledge and certificate. It about what is taught us and what we learn. So each one of you is a bright light of creativity and intelligence. And this is the thank you very much.
Super presentation, Dr. Dwivedi, and I hope you have served the justice to the topic. It was absolutely, and I believe the audience might have got, much, much, much exposure of your knowledge and wisdom. And dear audience, last but not the least, I present before you one of my favorites, the dynamic lady with energy, zeal, enthusiasm, and fire. One of the best speakers I have ever known. Correct. Your guess is correct, audience. I'm talking about none other than Dr. Shama Hussain. She's the founder and CEO, International Institute of Influencers, country director, Guinness Book of World Record, chairman, NSIT Muscat, founder and CEO of International Institute of Influencers, country director of United Nations Peacekeepers Federation Council, chairman, NSIT, and GCC associate deemed to be university winners and graders. So incredible profile deserves a huge applause. Please delight us with your thoughts, ma'am. Welcome to this platform.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Shelley. Thank you so much. I'm so honored, and really, it's a wonderful platform to see wonderful people, especially Dheeraj sir. I'm so honored to have you here. It's really a dream comes true seeing here and listening to you. Thank you so much. Miss Rania, my sweet friend, and Miss Tanya, it's so honored. Balchandra sir, Dwivedi sir, thank you so much, everyone. I'm really feeling so happy and energized. Okay, done. So let's come to the topic. The topic is education from mirror to the windows, and Dheeraj sir has expanded it to the doors, and etc., etc., etc. But I have one question to everyone here. Are our mirrors perfect? Are they reflecting well? Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So the reflection from the mirror should be wonderful. Then only we can see. Then only we can make it pass through the windows, as well as we can pass through the doors, and finally an enlightenment to the whole world. Have you worked out? If somebody asks you, do you want to study in Oxford University and do you want to study in any other university, what will be your first preference? First question. I'm just asking you, I'm just trying to analyze where we are lacking in. I want everyone just not think about this is what education. My dear friends, we need to know why we need education first of all. Why do we need education? Education is not something that just provides you information. It helps you to have harmony in your existence. I'm very proud to call myself Indian. I'm very proud to call myself Indian. Why? Why? Because all over the world, Indian education system has such a great foundation. Our gurus who start during Vedavyas time, they used to select the students and used to give them teaching these skills, gratitude, resiliency, how to face the problems, how to respect each other. This is what they have given the education. They used to turn years. They used to teach them how to be proactive, how to take accountability. This is what we really need. Okay, let me give you. Your son has got a seat in Oxford University. He will go to Oxford. He will get the certificate. And he will come back to India or anywhere, no problem. Somebody tells him something. He cannot manage that. He cannot overcome that criticism. What happens? End up of life. For this, are you studying the whole years of your life? The parents have spent so much of time for what? First, the basic thing of education. Education is not what to think. Education is how to think. Education is to bring the harmony among each other. Education is not for standard of living. I'm studying in that college. That is branded college. I'm studying in a branded private college, private university. She is studying in a simple government college, simple government school. Doesn't matter. Whether you study in a government school, whether you study in a foreign university, doesn't matter until and unless you are ready to extract, explore the values of education that are really needed. Education is not just IQ. Education is IQ plus EQ. Now we can add it to AQ, artificial intelligence as well. We can extract that. But my dear friends, the purpose of your life, as soon as we are born, and then we are, after that, we are sent to schools, then to the college, then to the university. This drama is happening till we die, right? So for what all this? For happiness in our life. Let's see the correct perspective of education. Let's take the education as an education. You know, 92% of our youth are completely literate. But what's the problem? They are completely filled with, their minds are well filled, but not well formed. Please note this point. They're all well filled, but not well formed. When you're literate, 92% of the youth are literate. Oh my God, so great. It's amazing. But only well filling everything in the mind. We have to form our mind. We have to form. Whatever you are studying, do you remember what you wrote in your exam in masters, in intermediate, in grade 12, in your 18 years exam? What did you write? Do you remember? But I'm sure you will be remembering what is your first crush. I'm sure you will be remembering how you dance in the college on the last day of your college. I'm sure you will be remembering how you cried during your farewell. But you don't remember same thing that happened next day, exam you don't remember. That means whatever you studied, you did remember. But whatever the feelings, whatever those things that you have, it is still in your mind. That is what education is, not just training thoughts to your mind. You need to train thoughts to your heart as well. You have to just training ideas, thoughts, everything to the mind and being commercial. You have your neighbor next to you, but you're not ready to know who he are because he's poor. Your education is not just for standard of living, but it is for standard of life. We need to bring the quality of life. What to do with the quantity? What to do with the quantity, my dear friends? I request each and everyone in the society, try to bring, because the post-pandemic world is not the same. I feel sometimes very pity to the children of this new generation. I really feel pity because those times there were not such competitions. There were no such uncertainties. Now see, the corona is one of, it's not the finish. Corona is not the last uncertainty of the world. There are more uncertainties going to come up. So you need to develop resiliency a lot, because you are going to have lots of problems in your life now, coming generations, lots of complications. How can you overcome them if you don't just you study the marks? You know the sponge, my dear friends, sponge. If you dip the sponge in the water, and again take it out and squeeze it, what will happen? You will get again whatever, that means whatever you gave, that is coming out. That is what happening in our education system. Whatever we give to the students, they are mugging up and again squeezing it during the exam. Squeezing it. And this sometimes I feel it's not their mistakes also, because due to the infrastructure, our country is very big, very huge. We cannot complain. So big country, lots of population as well. So what happens, there are professors who are getting in Harvard 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. The same professor here is getting 30,000. Or even lecturer, he gets 20,000, 30,000. He will not show that much of anxiety. When he doesn't have anxiety, the students don't have that much of anxiety. So when they don't have anxiety, they try to bunk the classes. They try to bunk the classes. The college will make a rule that you must have 75% of attendance. Otherwise, so they will come to the college not for studying. They will come to the college because their motivation is towards attendance. Their motivation is towards attendance. They want to get only the degrees. Their attendance full, they are allowed to sit in the exam. So when they're allowed to sit in the exam, they'll get the certificates. Finished. We got graduated. And they want to go with this graduation certificate. They want to go and face the jobs. Is this education? Until and unless our spiritual mind gets activated, our subconscious mind gets triggered, that what is education? I'm sure there's no mistake in the children, because the parents are again the catalyst in encouraging these things. They just want marks. They are not focusing their children the real value of education. The gurus who are focusing only to teach, why the gurus of olden days asking, we respect them now also like anything. When their name comes, Valmiki, these all amazing gurus who has given value to the education, we respect them now also. Why? We have that ethics. We are carrying them. India is respected. I don't say that India's education is denied, is less compared to that. No, we are in the highest grade because we have created that foundation for education. But only thing is, due to lots of population, lack of infrastructure, and overcoming demands, so we lack of some technology everywhere. Not, I cannot say everywhere, only some parts. It's affecting everywhere. So we need to, the only solution for this problem is spiritual education. Spiritual education means we need to know the value of education. Why are you studying this? Is this bringing any harmony to my life? Don't think about others' life. No, if you don't have time, no problem. But think about your life. How much hard work you are working doesn't matter. Matter is how much happy you are. When you are doing a job in a company, you will say, oh my God, today I have lots of work. I did so much of hard work. I did. No matter. But if you are doing it with the dedication, commitment, sincerity, that happiness comes. When you enjoy it, you will bring productivity to the organization. When you want to bring some change in your life as well as somebody's life, definitely you'll bring change to that organization. And the whole productivity will be seen. Only thing is we need to extract. We need to spend some time on that. Case studies, work on case studies. Harvard, they work on 85% of their education system is on case studies. 20% is on project and 10% is lecture. Stanford is on 70% on case studies and again 20% on projects, and lecture is very less. Yes, nowadays we have taught. We are also working on that. Recently, I went to an FDP program in one of the university, and I was giving them presentation on online etiquettes and how to be a very effective in presentations. You may not imagine the professors don't even know how to present. how to just copying some PowerPoints and just pasting it. When you are online, your voice, you can add voice to the presentation. You can bring that how you are out in the classroom. You are doing that. The same thing you can bring that now. How you in the classroom you bring that emotions, right? In the presentation, add your voice. Do bring that. Not just presented by and some points, bullets, and sent to the students. Is there any spiritual touch? How can we bring that impact in the civilization, in the next generation? Next generation means nothing but post-pandemic world. Post-pandemic world is not the world like pre-pandemic world. It is completely different. CEOs of the companies can be hired by IQs, but fired by lack of EQs. No collaboration. You are there, Miss Tanya is there, she's the head of the organization, but she's not able to collaborate. Imagine. She's not able to feel empathize with her colleagues. She's not able to be compassionate. She's not able to connect, convince. Then everybody will tell, we don't want her, please. We don't want to work under her. They don't be, and also they don't show that, what you call, respect, and they don't show that accountability to her. So her company is lost. What will you do, Miss Tanya, if you hire such people with 99% when they don't have? So we need to be accountable. We need to be ideal. We need to have, these are the basic values that our gurus of our centuries has taught us. Let us build this foundation in our schools, in our colleges, in the universities, so that when our children come out of the world, when they come out of this school education life, when they come to the real life, they can face them. They get married to yesterday and tomorrow divorce. Why? We are hearing divorce cases. Why? Where is your education of 90%, 100% graduate is also getting divorced? What's the reason? Where is his education there? That's what we need to know, how to use our education, not only just for marks. Let's leave this marks driven life. Let's make our, as I said, law of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Let's keep this angle equal. Otherwise, if this angle will deviate, it has deviated already due to lots of factors. We are now, the children are nuclear. First, we used to hear about joint families, then nuclear families. Now, extra nuclear we became now. Even the parents are not connected with the children, they are with the gadgets. Where will we teach the appreciation, values, which will help them if they get less marks in the exam? No problem for you. I'm not a good tree, but I'm a good bush. We need to make them to feel, I don't have a Mercedes, but I have a cycle. No problem. I'm going the same way. They need to feel that. They need to know that happiness quotient is missing in our education system. We need to bring that happiness quotient. We did not run behind their marks. All the schools, colleges, and universities claim that we have 100% marks. We are the topper in the school. But tell me which school claims that I got 100% leaders in my school? We got 100% leader like Dr. APJ, Dr. Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa. Which school claims that in which school? So we need to do that. That's what myself, Dr. Shama Hussain, CEO of International Institute of Influencers, I have started this organization only for this mission. On 1st of August, we are having inauguration. I invite each and everyone for this invite, because we are going to create these vibrations in the world. All the global leaders have joined us. I have started this mission. We are going to launch this. We want to bring that happiness through our life skills and IT trainings. We want them to learn happiness. That's what I want. That is our institution purpose. Let's, in your schools, in your colleges, let's bring this happiness. That one smile is enough to make their life, survival of fittest. So I thank you, Ms. Shirley, and all the eminent speakers over here for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Let's spread happiness in this world which is missing now. Thank you so much.
I was absolutely correct that this is the lady on fire, full of energy, zeal, and enthusiasm. We all loved listening to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma, for your, fire speech. We loved it. And now we have time for question answer. And you won't believe it, I am flooded with so many questions for you. But unfortunately, Dr. Balachandra has just, left because of the rain and the network issue. I hope I have messaged him. I hope he is back with us. By the time he is with us, let me start with the first question, which is directed to Dr. Tanya Simmons. And the question is, can we still get that quality education on online medium with this pandemic going on?
Hmm. Well, that's an excellent question. First of all, I want to just say that all the speakers on this platform have been just blown me away. I'm just so honored and humbled to be with you guys today. I mean, my goodness, I've really enjoyed this. I've learned so much myself. So thank you so much, you guys. And that last speaker, my goodness, Rainia, everyone on here, it was just, this has just been amazing. Thank you, Dr. Shelley, for this opportunity. First of all, to answer that question, I do believe that it's absolutely possible to have a quality education online. And I think everyone would agree with me on that. We've seen, I think, organization has to be in the forefront of your communication, obviously, between the professors, between the accreditation, organizations and all of that. And getting all that stuff behind the scenes, situated. But, it's work, it's hard work for the professors, and it's hard work for the students as well, because it's sometimes, like when we transition from, brick and mortar onto the virtual space, we were doing clinicals virtually, we were doing everything virtually. It was at first it was quite difficult, to be honest, just because we weren't, I'll just be very honest and transparent, we weren't as prepared as we should have been, to be honest. But after a couple of months, we worked hard. We got the system, we got the program to where it needed to be. Our passing rates were, very, very good, as far as NCLEX and those types of things. But on a state level, national level as well. But so yes, I do say for sure you can get a good quality education online. You just need to make sure, as a consumer, for education, you need to make sure that you do your own research. You make an educated decision on your school, and make sure, obviously, they're accredited. Make sure you look at, do they have the courses that you need? Um, and, obviously, funding, do they have the funding available? Scholarships, there are tons of scholarships out there. You just need to, do your due diligence and research. And because I really feel very passionate about this, is that I think we should give good quality education, but not bleed our students. I really feel that very profoundly. I do understand that there's for-profit colleges, there's, and all of that. I understand that, it's sometimes it can be ran as a business. But I do believe the importance of making sure, I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of issue here, making sure that we do our due diligence in giving good quality education, as well as the consumer, making sure that they're having due diligence in, researching appropriate universities online is important as well. I hope that answered the question. Thank you.
Very well articulated, Dr. Tanya. I think you have done justice to this question. And now my next question is to Dr. Dheeraj. The question is, which national education policy points do you think will be helpful for Indian education system?
Well, as I pointed out in my deliberation as well, that the very inception of the whole policy has been drafted and crafted with intelligent minds. So I don't think that there is any space for criticism there. and all what initiatives have been taken by the government actually prove out to be a wonderful notion and an initiative to be implemented with the very perfection, especially when we talk about enabling education, integrating the experiential learning to the notion of exploring the importance of teacher training and the very implementation of the economic development policies and the framework. I'm very sure, including the one which has been integrated at coding in the schools, because we have initiated that. The topics like inclusion of the sign language as a part of compulsory notion for practice, and then of course the new national assessment has been given a charge. So I'm very sure that NEP 2020 aims at large about including the framework where the notion is that no child loses any opportunity to learn and excel because of the circumstances of birth or background or the special emphasis has been given to the social and the economic disadvantage. And even early years of education has been given a task, a recognition to the early childhood education system. So these are some of the points which we, the educators, are looking forward, to the implementation part, and also the setting up of the state schools standards authorities, and of course the quality assessment and the accreditation framework have brought in forward the quality awareness about the quality of education being deliberated, and also the check. So that probably we are looking forward, and much of the preface has been talked about by the integration of the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 mechanism of delivery of education. So I think all these concepts are well unique and hard to implement, of course. So we will be requiring, awareness programs like these to, bring out the cause, the change, and the implementation in the best possible manner. That's my say. Thank you very much.
Fantastically answered, Dr. Dheeraj, and I think the justice is done to this question. And now my next question is to Ma'am Rania, and this is a good one. Though I've received so many, but I have picked one. This one: what common factors or differences do Greece and India have in their education system?
Well, this is not easy to answer. I think that Indian system focuses more on theory and not in practice. I think this is one thing, as far as I know. And I see that in my experience that this year I gave a lot of lectures in universities there, and many universities were very excited when I presented them all this philosophy about the STEM vision, and how we need more hands-on activities, and how we need more practice and experiential learning. And they told me that this is one of the biggest problems in Indian curriculum, that this focus on theory. And I think that we have the same philosophy as far as how could be the quality of education. And here I want to say, as far as the previous question is concerned, how your education can help us there. Because during the COVID pandemic, we can see how it's very important create positive emotions, and to make our learning more challenging through challenging activities. So what is very important to the message that I want to transfer to Indian teachers is try to apply brain-based strategies, brain-based techniques in order to make learning more pleasant. And always have in mind that emotion is very important, and try to develop social skills, although we have online learning, through collaborating platforms. And And I think that we have a great collaboration between India and Greece as far as university is concerned, as far as research is concerned so far. I'm planning on coming to India and I'm collaborating with many universities there. So I know from my own experiences how much engaged they are in research. We have the same problem of funding because in Greece here also research government has not doesn't fund, and I know that in India happens the same. We don't have the same funding. But I think that the key here is international collaboration and how through the national collaboration student mobility is another thing, very important thing, because we have, for example, here European programs, Erasmus, which are called Erasmus, and that allowed all this mobility from students from one university to another, and how through a memorandum of understanding, for example, we can collaborate through one university with other university. So I don't want to focus on our differences. I want to focus only what unites us as teachers and institutions and as countries. This is my perspective.
Fantastically spoken, Ma'am Rania. It is too good. And now my question is to Dr. Divedi. As per your presentation, the question has come to me that which education period is the most crucial for development of a student? Is higher education time duration enough or could it be less?
The most crucial period of education is actually primary education. When we give the foundation, very good foundation to the child, and especially what our one speaker has spoken about the value education. We invite the children with the basic foundation, with the basic well education. I'm sure it will be the best time to groom and learn more and more. And similarly, the child will also uh, gain the knowledge in higher education, and that carry forward also. Thank you.
Very well answered. And now I focus my question to Dr. Sharma. And the question is, if an educational system has serious crisis, what should be reformed and at what level do you feel? Shall I repeat?
It was. Can you please repeat? I could not
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. If an educational system has serious crisis, what should be reformed and at what level do you feel?
Education system in serious crisis. Right now, we are already in crisis. Right now, we are in crisis. To be honest, we need to reform lots of factors: social, emotional, mental factors that contribute to the education. We are in the stage. Even the educators, they think like they got like what I said now: emotional, intellectual, physical, mental factors. Because of less salaries, they don't want to contribute more. And the other factor is they think lack of knowledge of IT. They think we cannot convince with them online, we cannot connect with the children, they give up. So this is all crisis. This is all nothing but the what do you call symptoms of crisis. They are giving up. They don't understand one thing. I just want to ask each and everyone one question. In classroom, a child is with you. I agree, child. Classroom education is the best. I agree that. But when you are teaching, the child is having a notebook with him, right? Only in the computer class, he is having computer. I'm not talking about the very high level schools in general, in common. So when you are teaching him something, he cannot explore. You are teaching here, he is taking out. So if the teacher, if the student is having with him already the Google with him, where he can explore instead of telling what can you present a presentation of Japan's tourism. Now, instead of asking that, why can't you ask the student, can you present the presentation? How could be the Japan's presentation of tourism after 10 years? Why don't we involve them? So if the student is having online, we should be feel happy that he's having computer in his hand in online. So he can explore. He can explore and he can bring you more than what you know. Instead of that, the symptom of crisis is that the educators are giving up, thinking that in online we cannot connect to them, we cannot convince them. So they need to be trained first. They need to be reformed. They need to reform first, not only in the training. That's what I was telling. It's not just we call them, they will consider it, oh, we have workshop today, we have to go and sit, we will get a certificate. The motivation should not be the certificate. The motivation should not be the certificate. As a leader of the school, as a leader of the organization, we need to work out some efforts where we can mold the educators' minds. Where we need to motivate them not for certificates, not for increment. We have to motivate them to bring something in the coming life of the education, of the life of the children. Whether it can be school, whether it can be college, whether it can be a university. Because we are wasting their time. We are wasting. So the reformation should be, that's what I said, all together, spiritual, mental, intellectual, and emotional reform should be done in our education system. Right now, we are in the crisis stage. If we don't overcome this crisis, if we don't understand the symptoms, then in coming generation, the children will lose the value for respect. You know, now it is already started. When you are giving the project in the school, they are going and buying artificially from outside. People are writing for them projects. People are writing assignments. They are buying and they are just uploading it. They are submitting it. Because there are no ethics here now. You will tell plagiarism is there, you to stop it, you will tell how much you will try. You will tell plagiarism, then what they will do? They will try to make somebody to pay money and get it written. That's where we are lacking. That's what we are lacking. The Indian education system, what we said now, this is what we as an educators, we have everything. India is the hub of technology. World is coming to us. We have the technology. We are the suppliers of technology to everyone. So, meanwhile, that's only factor that is lacking is that we have to decrease the activation energy. That is focusing us. We have to act as a catalyst to increase the rate of reaction by decreasing the activation energy. We have to lower that activation energy here now. So this is what we need to work on. Let's understand these symptoms, each and every one, where we are lacking, where the ethics are lacking in education. If these ethics are reformed, then definitely we will overcome. They should understand that they are not studying for certificates. They need to get the value of that. They need to know what is the purpose of that. So this is what we need to make the students understand. If you permit me, I'll just tell you 1 minute, one small story. There was this small boy. He was, not small boy, sorry. There was a young man. He was searching for some lost money on the street lamp, under the street lamp. One person moving on, he comes and asks him, what are you searching for? He said, I lost some of my money here. Can you give me that? And he said, I would like to help you. And he comes and help him. He started searching the money somewhere nearby that area and suddenly gets it out and he comes and asks him, can you please exactly tell me where you lost it so that I can help you exactly to find out and we can reduce the time? Surprisingly, he said, I lost it in the second floor of my apartment. The man was surprised. You lost it in the second floor of the apartment and you're searching in the street, under the street lamp? What logic is this? He said, there is no power. How can I search? Here I can see the light under the street lamp, so I'm searching here. That's what's happening with our education system now. We are not self-aware that what we are lacking, what we are gaining. So we need to know where we have to focus exactly. So as Newton's third law says, for every action, equal and opposite reaction. If you are not showing ethics for your education, if you are not working hard just to get the education, you're just showing for this living for a standard of living, then it will one day bounce back to you and you will suffer that. So let's do your work sincerely, honestly, with consistency and dedication. That is the reformation. Thank you, Ms.
Very well answered, Dr. Sharma. Highly satisfied with your answer and an explanation. But I'm really very sorry, eminent panelists and your audience. Balachandra sir has messaged me that now also because of the excessive rain and the power failure, he is not able to connect with us. The network issues are also there, though he's trying to connect with the mobile and the laptop. But I think the situation is quite feeble, so never mind. And I have more than 50 questions for all the speakers, all the six speakers, but because of the time constraint I am not able to handle so many questions, because all our eminent guest speakers are from the different time zones, and I think it is more than 2 hours and I need to wind up. So before we wind up, I should invite, the man behind Rec. I am just a host, I'm just the face, but now it's the time for the felicitation and for the vote of thanks. And for this, I want the founder, the CEO of, Edicals, Unite of Scholars, and Rec to be there on the screen for the felicitation ceremony. So here we have Mr. Ratish Gupta in front of you to do the honors. I welcome you, sir, on the platform. The platform is all yours now. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very, very much. Thanks to all REC community. I'm Ratish Gupta. First of all, I want to convey my heartiest greetings and regards toward today's guest speakers. Each of them had given their best insights from their respective fields. As we all know, we simply can't compare between such of fraternity. REC Talk is growing rapidly by the help of such great speakers coming on the platform and igniting the society. And I would like to felicitate our wonderful and delightful guest speakers for such a great evening. I would like to present a token of gratitude for you. Please accept. This is for you. Thank you very much. And I also would like to thank Dr. Shelly Bish, ma'am, and our audience who made this dream come true. So that's all for the day. Signing off the today's with a promise of never-ending success, journey of the entire educational community. Thanks to all once again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over
Thank you
to
very
Shelly,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
sir.
Thank
much,
you
Thank you very
so
much.
Mr. Ratish
much. Thank
Gupta,
you.
for the honors you have given to the
Thank you.
eminent
Namaste.
guest panelists over here, and for all the support. For
Sure.
all the support, you were the reason behind for the success of
No,
today's,
no, all, only not
platform.
me. Only not me. Only not me.
Yes. And
Rania
fantastic.
ma'am,
I mean, it was
Dheeraj
such a
sir,
tremendous
Tanya
show,
ma'am.
and it was such an honor listening to the great eminent panelists over here. So
Yeah.
much of learning, As I always said that I'm a learner, and there is no age for learning. And I hope and I wish that as I have learned so much from these eminent panelists, I'm sure if the justice is done to the participants and the attendees as well, and they have taken the key insights and takeaways from the eminent guest speakers over here. So my attitude of gratitude to each and every one of you to have accepted our invitation, to have taken time from your busy schedules to be over here, and to to be here for more than 2 hours session. And this, I'm so sorry the session got extended because of the tremendous performance of all speakers over here. So I wish that you all have a long association with us, and you will return back to Rec Power Global session once again with a promising topic and with the promising profile. So thank you so much. Now I, Shelly Besh, the host for the
Thank
show,
you.
signing off. And thank you so much for your time and for delivering all the deliberations. Good luck and best wishes in future as well.
Sure.
Can I
Thank you very
appeal
much.
to all
Thank
the
you.
present people
Yes,
here?
sir. Sure, sure. Why not? Please, sir.
Give a give a big round of applause for the Sally, Dr. Sally also.
Sure, sir. Sure.
It
Always.
is an honor. Really, sir, it is an honor.
She has done really wonderful job, and thank you very much to
Thank
all,
you.
and thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.